Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special episode of the Paul Farrington Show, Ziggy with a Spreadsheet. It's me, Robert Ziggy Ziegler, and if you've been following the NFL at all, you know that a huge bit of news just dropped today. Aaron Rodgers, that's right, the Hall of Famer. Green Bay gonna retire his jersey someday. First ballot Hall of Famer. We're talking how many All-Pros? We're talking a Super Bowl ring. The best quarterback New York has ever seen has just been traded to the New York Jets. This is huge news, right? The biggest story of the offseason is finally over, but people have been wondering, who won this trade? Who lost this trade? Was it good for the Packers? Was it good for the Jets? What's the outcome going to be? So I figured today we'll just take a little bit of a look at this trade, see how it's going, and just sort of give an assessment based on some numbers. How I think the trade is, how I think it worked out. A little bit of analysis. So, in any case, we can start by taking a look here. And you'll notice we can go over the terms of the trade real quick. So the Jets give up pick 13, pick 42, pick number 207, and a 2024 conditional second, but if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps, it becomes a first. So we're going to call this a 2024 first, because frankly, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play next year, this is just a disaster for the Jets. So the Jets give up all that. 13, 42, 207, and their first next year. For what? Well, they get pick 15. They get pick 170. And of course, they get the jewel they've been longing for all offseason, Aaron Rodgers. So there's two things to look at in this trade. You have to look at, and we're going to be looking at it from the Jets' perspective. If you're a Packers fan, you can just sort of flip what I'm saying, flip the numbers, and it'll all make sense. But, Andrew Keenan's a Jets fan. We're sort of a Jets-themed podcast when it comes time to talking about football, so we'll be looking at this from the perspective of the Jets. But you look at what the Jets are going to have to give up in terms of salary cap space, and you look at the value that they're going to get from what they've acquired. So we're going to look at two scenarios here. One, Aaron Rodgers plays only 1 year. Two, Aaron Rodgers plays 2 years, because those are the two likely outcomes. It's very hard to see him out on the football field in 2025. He might retire next offseason, he might not. And whether he does plays a huge role in whether this trade's worth it. So, let's get into it real quick. Here's the basic thought. What's it going to cost the Jets? Well, they gave a bunch of draft picks, right? So this is money that's going to come off their books, money they're saving. They're going to be giving up pick 13 this year. Pick 42 and pick 207. So I just took how much money those picks are worth and subtracted the league minimum salary, which is $750,000. And then I assumed that their pick next year, it's not going to be early, right? I'm assuming that Aaron Rodgers plays quite well for them. I put it at 24, right? So they win a playoff game, they have a decent year, but I don't think many people have them winning the Super Bowl. Pick 24, a playoff run with a victory, seems pretty typical. And, if they move up a little bit, move down a little bit, it doesn't make a huge difference. And then, of course, they're adding on pick 15 and 170. So that's money they're going to have to pay out. So if Aaron Rodgers plays 1 year, they're going to have to pay $35 million. Okay, so they're paying $35 million. Well, what value are they getting? Aaron Rodgers, the market has decided he's being paid $53 million for top-tier quarterback play. That seems about right to me. So we'll just say he's going to get paid $53 million. That's not what he's going to get paid. That's what he's going to be worth, right? Top-tier quarterback play in the NFL is worth a ton. Well, they're also going to get a little bit of value out of these picks and have to give up a little bit in these picks. Now, what did I do? Our friends at Over the Cap give a basic way to turn pick values or picks in the NFL draft into financial values against the cap. I love their work. They did great historical research, so we're just going to work with that here. They give a specific number. How'd I apportion it? Well, rookies often don't contribute a whole lot in the NFL, right? They're new. They struggle to pick up the game. It just takes a little bit of time for them to develop. Unless you're talking about a guy like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, this sort of thing. There's not a whole lot of immediate contributors. And I was neutral on what position it's going to be, because who knows? The Packers could take a quarterback, they could take a running back, they could take a punter. I have no idea. So I just sort of ignored the positions and looked at the general value of the pick. So year one, things are looking pretty good for the Jets, right? They're getting a lot of great play out of Aaron Rodgers. That future first means absolutely nothing. The picks they're giving up don't contribute to a whole lot early on, and they're getting a little bit of value from those Packers picks. So I've got them up about $51 million after 2023, right? This is the year that the Jets are really targeting. They've got a strong team this year. It makes sense. But then things start to get worse, right? So if Aaron Rodgers only plays 1 year, in 2024 through 2026, he's worth nothing. Same in 2027. And these draft picks they gave up start to be worth something, right? So 13 and 15 more or less balance out. We can ignore that. But that future first starts kicking in. That second round pick, number 42, starts to matter. Pick 207, they start playing a little bit. And 170 is not enough to balance that out. So I've got them losing about $10 million. And then this is where it starts to really get bad. In 2025 and 2026, you've got those 2 first-round picks contributing a whole lot. Your first-round pick's still doing good, right? They're still contributing some value, but not nearly as much. And in 2027, it's sort of all canceled out except for that future first. So you take this, you assume those draft picks are reasonably productive. I'm not assuming they're all pros. This is just based on the historical data. But the Jets lose money in every other year, which you'd expect, right? Aaron Rodgers isn't playing. So you look at the net value that the Jets are getting. Well, all things considered, right? You take these 2 numbers, they're going to be getting about $1.9 million in value. And they're going to be paying, as we saw over here, $35 million against the cap. So that leads to a pretty nasty hit of negative $33 million, or about the value of that pick number 13 they gave up. Right, this comes out to like 34.5. Actually, call it 35. So it's basically equivalent to what they're giving up here, is what it's going to be costing. So the Jets lose quite a bit if Aaron Rodgers plays only 1 year. Not a great trade. You'd say, look, we had to go all in. We had to get our quarterback. The team's good. Zach Wilson's not it. I get it. But with options like Jimmy Garoppolo available, you start to wonder. Now, here's where things can get good for the Jets, right? So let's say Aaron Rodgers plays 2 years. Well, his contract number for that's going to be about $108 million, right? So the cost skyrockets. But on the other hand, you'll be getting another year at Aaron Rodgers. So we can put that into the value chart. Move this net cost here. That's what? 84,344,732. Oh, right, it's doing the thing. So let's just bump this out a bit. Sorry, doing spreadsheets on the fly, maybe not my best. But you can see now things start to become a lot better for the Jets. Right, it's still $27 million. It's a lot to give up, but it's less than they did before. And importantly now, you're getting that second year of Aaron Rodgers. So yeah, you say, look, we're losing a pick that's worth something, right? It's equivalent to a late first-round pick. But Aaron Rodgers has given us a couple years of really high performance, right? We're taking on some financial cost, but it's financial cost for a player that's good. And the fact is, if Aaron Rodgers plays 2 years, it's not great, right? You're still pretty deep in the hole, but it's the kind of deepness you can justify for a team that wants to go all in. So in short, I think things are really bad for the Jets if Aaron Rodgers plays only 1 year or is a big performance drop-off. I am frankly not convinced that Aaron Rodgers is going to continue to play at this high a level. We saw some regression last year, but this is what the Jets are seeing. They're looking at the upside of having a healthy, elite Aaron Rodgers on their team. And that makes sense. So, what do I think of the trade? I think when you look at the numbers, the Packers are doing pretty well for themselves, right? Aaron Rodgers was worth nothing to them because he was not playing another snap. So they were able to get a first-round pick and a second-round pick pretty early, right? 42 is not a late-round pick. They were able to get that pick the Jets got from the Browns. They're getting that pick number 42 and a future first in exchange for Aaron Rodgers, who was worth nothing to them. So they're good, I think, no matter what. They weren't getting more out of this. The Jets, it depends. Aaron Rodgers really needs to play 2 years for them, and he needs to play well for them for those 2 years, or else this trade just doesn't quite work out for them. So in any case, I hope this was helpful for you and gave some insight into the variables that have to go into assessing a trade. Right? It's not enough to just look at the player. You got to look at the contract too. You got to look at what the player's going to contribute, sure, but you also got to look at the value of the player, the value of the picks you're giving up, the financial implications. So in any case, We'll be hoping for the Jets on the Paul Farrington show because Andrew Keenan is definitely more fun to be around when the Jets are winning. And let's be honest here, the Jets have suffered long enough. If they win this trade and the Packers lose, basically nothing would make me happier. In any case, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. What do you think of the trade? Do you think that this analysis is just goofy? Think Aaron Rodgers is worth more than I'm giving credit for? Certainly some people on the show do. But I don't know. We're interested in hearing what you think about the trade. Your engagement with the content's always helpful. In any case, thanks for listening, folks, and we'll see you tonight. Actually, Paul and the gang and I are going to be recording an episode with a more in-depth reaction to Aaron Rodgers. So if this was interesting or you're interested in a little more boisterous banner, feel free to tune into that. In any case, that's all I got. See y'all on the flip side.